There is truly nothing quite like the feeling of a new relationship. It can feel like the sun has suddenly come out after a long, gray winter. You meet someone, and there is that spark, that undeniable electricity that seems to hum in the air between you. It is exciting. It is passionate. It can be completely intoxicating. We all crave that connection. We all want to feel seen, understood, and cherished. When we find someone who seems to offer that, it is only natural to want to dive in headfirst, to let ourselves be swept away by the romance of it all. There is always that beautiful potential that this new spark could blossom into a profound, long-lasting bond. We dream of the future, we imagine the possibilities, and we let our hearts open wide. However, while it is wonderful to be open to love, it is also vitally important that we stay grounded. We must remain attuned to the reality of who is in front of us, not just the fantasy of who we want them to be. Paying close attention to the behavioral patterns of our partners in these early stages is an act of self-love. It is how we protect our energy and our future. Being observant of toxic behaviors from the very start can prevent us from jumping into a serious commitment that does not serve us. It can help us walk away from a situation that could be potentially dangerous before our lives become too deeply intertwined. We often talk about trusting our gut, and today, that is exactly what we are going to practice. We are going to shine a light on 5 early warning signs, red flags, that you should never, ever ignore in a relationship. These are not just quirks or minor annoyances. These are fundamental indicators of how a person operates and how they view control, boundaries, and respect. Let us begin with number 1, love bombing. You might have heard this term floating around social media or in psychology circles, but let us really unpack what it feels like. Imagine you have just started dating someone. It has only been a few days, or perhaps a couple of weeks. Yet, everything seems absolutely perfect, almost too perfect. This person is attentive in a way you have never experienced before. They are generous with their time, their compliments, and perhaps even gifts. They make you feel like you are the center of their universe, the most attractive, intelligent, and fascinating person they have ever met. It feels like a fairy tale. But I want you to pause and ask yourself, do they come off a little too strong? Is there an intensity that feels slightly overwhelming? Are they calling or texting you excessively throughout the day, demanding your attention at all hours? Do they profess their undying love for you after only knowing you for a very short time? This, my friends, is a classic red flag known as love bombing. For those unfamiliar with the term, love bombing refers to a specific form of emotional manipulation. It consists of a person moving far too quickly at the beginning stages of a relationship and literally showering the other person with praise, affection, and promises. It is a calculated attempt to accelerate the intimacy, to hook you in before you have had a chance to see their flaws or assess their true character. Now, I want to be very clear here. Romantic gestures and affection are completely normal and wonderful aspects of dating. We all want to be wooed. We all want to feel special. But healthy love is a slow burn. It takes time to grow. It is consistent and steady. Love bombing, on the other hand, is like a firework, bright, loud, and intense, but often followed by darkness. If someone is putting you on a pedestal right away, remember that pedestals are narrow and unstable places to stand. It can be a sign of something sinister if done excessively right from the start. It creates a dynamic where you feel indebted to them, or where you feel you must comply with their wishes to keep that intense affection flowing. True connection honors the pace of both individuals. It does not rush. It does not overwhelm. Let us move on to number 2, subtle coercion. This is a tricky one because, unlike physical aggression or overt insults, subtle coercion creeps in slowly. It is like the frog in the pot of water that slowly heats up. You often do not realize you are in danger until the water is boiling. Controlling behavior and coercive control are obvious signs of domestic violence and abusive behavior later on. But the way in which they show up at the beginning of a relationship is usually very subtle and gradual. It is rarely a demand. It is usually a suggestion. According to Emma Davey, a narcissistic abuse expert and counselor, abusers like to be in control all the time. However, they cannot simply demand total obedience on the first date because you would run away. So, they do this by tracking their partner's activity in small ways. They will monitor where you are going, who you are going with, for how long you will be gone, your social media activity, and who you are talking to on the phone. At first, an abuser will apply many subtle coercive tactics. For example, they might say they need to know about your daily whereabouts because they worry about you. They might make suggestions about what you should wear, saying things like, "I think you look more elegant in this dress than that skirt." They might ask why you are online so late or who you were texting, framing it as insecurity or just curiosity. They mask these demands as altruistic. They claim they are concerned for your safety and well-being. They might say, "I just want to make sure you get home safe, so text me the moment you leave, the moment you get in the car, and the moment you arrive." While caring about safety is normal, there is a fine line between care and surveillance. If you notice that your new partner requires that you inform them of everywhere you go, if they get upset when you miss a text, or if they feel the need to accompany you everywhere you go, then this could be a warning sign. Healthy relationships are built on trust, not monitoring. You are an adult with agency. You have the right to move through the world without reporting your location every 10 minutes. If you feel like you are being managed, or if you feel a tiny knot of anxiety when you want to make a simple decision, like going to the grocery store alone, listen to that feeling. That is your intuition telling you that your freedom is being encroached upon. Now, let us discuss number 3, hypersensitivity. This is a trait that can be very confusing because we often equate sensitivity with being emotional or deep. However, in the context of toxic relationships, hypersensitivity refers to volatility that makes you feel like you are walking on eggshells. If you have been with your partner for a short period of time and you have noticed that they are easily triggered by innocuous comments or harmless jokes, then this could be a sign of hypersensitivity, which is a common trait amongst most abusers. Imagine you are having a casual conversation. You make a light-hearted comment, perhaps a gentle tease or a simple observation. Suddenly, the mood shifts. Your partner becomes cold, angry, or deeply offended. They might lash out, or they might withdraw into a punishing silence. You are left feeling confused, wondering what you said wrong. You might find yourself apologizing for things you did not even mean to do, just to restore the peace. It is also common for these individuals to take unrelated or harmless comments as personal attacks. They twist the narrative. For instance, if you say, "I really enjoy Italian food tonight," they might interpret that as you saying you hate the meal they cooked 3 days ago. They might claim that you are trying to disrespect them when you are merely just disagreeing with them and expressing your own opinion. This behavior is designed to make you self-edit. Over time, you stop sharing your true thoughts. You stop making jokes. You constantly monitor your tone and your words to avoid triggering an explosion. A healthy partner can laugh at themselves. A healthy partner can handle a difference of opinion without viewing it as a betrayal. If you feel like you have to shrink yourself to fit into the room with them, or if you are constantly managing their emotional state, that is a major red flag. You deserve a relationship where you can breathe easy, where you can speak your mind without fear of a sudden, irrational reaction. Next, we need to talk about number 4. They dislike your friends or family. Our support systems are our lifelines. They are the people who have known us the longest, the people who ground us and remind us of who we are. One of the most dangerous things an abusive partner can do is to sever those ties. Does your new partner express disapproval every time you go out with your closest friends or family members? Do they roll their eyes when you mention your mother? Do they make snide comments about your best friend? They might make you feel guilty for spending time with those closest to you. They might say things like, "Why do you need to see them? Aren't I enough for you?" Or, "I just want to spend all my time with you. I guess you do not feel the same way." They might try to convince you that your friends are bad influences, that they are jealous of your relationship, or that they do not truly understand you. They might even stroke your ego by saying that you are too good for your family, implying that your loved ones are holding you back. This is a subtle tactic that abusers use to slowly isolate you from your support system. Isolation is a key tool for control. When you are isolated, you lose your perspective. You lose the people who can look at your situation objectively and say, hey, that is not right. When it is just you and the partner, their reality becomes the only reality. Their voice becomes the only voice you hear. So, it is extremely important to be aware of this early on and check for patterns of possessive behavior. A partner who truly loves you will love the people who love you. They will want you to have a rich, full life outside of the relationship. They will encourage you to see your friends, to visit your family, and to maintain your independence. If someone is trying to build a wall around you, asking you to choose between them and everyone else, please understand that this is not romantic. It is a cage, and you were born to fly, not to be caged. Finally, we arrive at number 5, rushing into commitment. In our culture, we are often fed the narrative of love at first sight and whirlwind romances that lead to the altar. While that makes for a great movie, in real life, rushing is often a sign of instability. If you just started dating someone and you can sense that they are trying to pressure you into a committed relationship, pause. If they are trying to rush into important milestones, such as meeting each other's families, saying, I love you, or moving in together within a matter of weeks, then this is a huge red flag that should not be ignored. This is usually in tandem with love bombing. The person will idealize their significant other and smother them with praise and attention to get them to lock down the relationship quickly. They want to secure you before the mask slips. They might say things like, I have never felt this way before, or why wait when we know it is right? They might make you feel like you are skeptical or unromantic for wanting to take things slow. Another sign of this is saying the words, I love you, after a very short period of time, and pressuring you to do the same. They might look hurt or angry if you do not reciprocate immediately. They create a sense of urgency, a feeling that if you do not jump on this moving train right now, you will lose the chance of a lifetime. But here is the truth. Real love is patient. Real love can wait. It does not need to be locked down in a contract or a shared lease after 3 weeks to be real. In fact, healthy love requires time. It requires seeing someone in different seasons, seeing how they handle stress, how they handle anger, how they handle money. You cannot know someone deeply in a month. If this sounds familiar to what you have been experiencing in your new relationship, you may need to proceed with caution. I want to remind you of something very important. You have agency over your life. You are the driver of your own experience. You shouldn't feel obligated to commit to a relationship if you are not fully ready. No matter how nice they seem, no matter how much they have spent on dinner, and no matter how much they say they love you. Boundaries are not mean, they are necessary. Saying no or not yet is a complete sentence. If someone respects you, they will respect your pace. They will respect your need for time. They will understand that trust is earned, not demanded. So take a deep breath with me. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. If you recognize any of these signs, the love bombing, the subtle coercion, the hypersensitivity, the isolation from friends, or the rushing of commitment, please do not brush them aside. Do not make excuses for them. Your intuition is a powerful guidance system. It is there to keep you safe. It is better to be single and safe than to be in a relationship where you are slowly losing yourself. You deserve a love that feels like peace. You deserve a love that feels like freedom. You deserve a partner who celebrates your independence, who respects your boundaries, and who lets the relationship unfold naturally, like a flower blooming in its own perfect time. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope these words have empowered you to look at your relationships with clear eyes and a strong heart. Remember, you are worthy of respect, kindness, and a healthy, safe love. Until next time, keep your aura bright and your boundaries strong. Bye for now.